Welcome to Instagram Success for bloggers and business owners. I'm Joanne from lifewithjoanne.com, and this is video number 3 in this 3-part series. In the last video, you learned about using hashtags and also how to get photos from your laptop or computer to use on Instagram. This is the final video in the series, so let's get right to it. In video number 2, we discussed the importance of taking good photos and using the right hashtags to gain new followers and encourage engagement. But there is another piece to this that we're going to go over right now. Engaging and interacting with your followers and other Instagram members is an important part of this. As with any social media site, you can't just pump out content without getting in on the conversation. After all, it's called social media for a reason. Number 1, when someone replies to one of your photos, reply back and tag them so they know that you've replied. Number 2, go through your feed and click like on photos that your followers are posting. The nice thing about Instagram is that because it's a mobile app, you can engage on the go. So while you're waiting for an appointment or online in the store, you can use your phone to interact on Instagram. Number 3, ask questions and then reply to the answers. This is a great tool to find out more about your followers and customers. I mentioned in video number 2 that I have been on Instagram for 3 years. I would say the first year, I wasn't very active on it. I only posted maybe a couple of photos a month. But in the last year and a half, I have become more involved. And I've used these steps. These are the steps that I've used to build up my following to over 2,000, and I get new followers on a weekly basis. I want to recap my top 3 ways to build up an engaged following. 1, take nice photos. This is a photo app after all, so your photos are always going to take center stage. The second is to use the right hashtags, but don't go overboard. Use at least 2 in each photo, but I wouldn't recommend more than 5. In video number 2, I shared the top 40 hashtags on Instagram and some of my recommendations. Third, engage and interact with other members and become part of the community. I get asked very often, should I follow everyone back who follows me? So I want to just take a couple of seconds and give you my personal follow back guidelines. These are my guidelines that I use on all of my social media sites. They're very simple. Number 1, I will not follow anyone back that is still using whatever the profile photo is that came with the account. Like on Facebook, it's the silhouette. On Twitter, it's the bird. I feel like if you aren't interested enough in the platform to add a profile photo, and it doesn't have to be a profile photo of you, just not the one that came with the account, then why would I want to follow you? Second is if your account is linked to a website that looks spammy, or it's like loaded up with ads and no content, I won't be following you back. So those are my guidelines. Other than that, I follow everyone back. So unless you have no profile photo or your site looks spammy, I will be following you back. I get asked by many bloggers and business owners, what is the best time to post on Instagram? I have to be honest and say this is really hard to pinpoint on Instagram because unlike other social media sites, it's a mobile app. So you can access it on the go 24/7. My first tip that I would suggest for you to do is to experiment with different time blocks and test them out. I would say start with early morning before work and school. Try lunchtime when people are checking their phones, and late in the evening when people are off from work. In the next screen, I'm going to share some sites and apps that I use for Instagram. And one of the sites provides a chart that you see here. And the chart gives you the best days and times to post based on your previous posting history. This is my chart right here. The light gray circles show what days and times my followers are interacting with my content based on when I post my photos. So according to this chart, more of my followers interact with my photos on Tuesday at noon and Thursday at 9 o'clock and 7 o'clock p.m. These are just some mobile apps and websites that I use alongside Instagram. There are many, 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 many more. These are just the ones that I use personally. I want to start with Iconosquare, which up until recently was Statagram. You're going to sign up using your Instagram account, as you will with all of these, and then you'll have access to a bunch of stats about your account, like the chart in the previous slide, showing when your followers are engaging with you the most. The next one is Unfollogram, which shows who unfollowed you and also who you are not following. Like I said, I like to follow everyone back except in those two instances that I just outlined. So I don't only use this to see who unfollowed me, I also use it to see who I'm not following back, who maybe slipped through the crack. I try to check this site about once, maybe twice a month. The last one is InstaFit, and this is a mobile app. And what it does is it puts your photo in a square so it doesn't get cut off on Instagram. And there are many, many, many apps that do this. This is just the one that I use. All of these apps and sites are free to use. Okay, so we've discussed the importance of A, good quality photos, B, increasing your exposure using hashtags, and C, interacting with your followers. But there are other steps you can take to promote your products and your services on Instagram. The first is by sharing photos of your product or service being used rather than just the product alone by itself. And I'll give you some examples. Say, for example, you make and you sell sweaters. Instead of taking a photo of the sweater by itself, why don't you pair it along with a pair of pants and some shoes to bring an outfit to life? If you are a yoga teacher, a yoga instructor, instead of taking photos of you doing all the poses, show your clients doing them, maybe in a group setting, or better yet, you helping them into a pose. My second tip is to offer behind-the-scenes glimpses and post sneak peeks of new products that are coming out soon. If you have an office or a store, take us on a tour. If you just redid your blog, take a before and after photo and create a collage using both of them. Like I said in video number 1, we're nosy. We like to see what's going on, see what you're doing behind the scenes, behind the screen. So show us more of that. Third, interact with members who are using the hashtags that relate to your business. And I'll give you a couple of examples. Say you have a DIY blog. I want you to go and look at the hashtag DIY projects. It's an actual hashtag on Instagram. So it's hashtag DIY projects. Interact with the members that are posting their products. I mean that are posting their projects. If you own a flower shop, check hashtag flower of the day. Again, this is an actual hashtag. And engage with those members. Unless their account is private, you will be able to engage with them. If their account is private, you're not going to see them. So as long as you're seeing it, you can engage with them. The next tip is to interact with competitors or related businesses, related blogs, interact with their members. And like I said, unless their account is private, you don't need to be following each other to like or comment on their photo. So these are just some of the many, many ways that you can use Instagram for marketing and promotion. I also want to suggest that you bookmark the Instagram business blog so you can kind of keep up with the changes and also get inspiration. With these tips and ideas that I've given you in this 3-part video series, you should be able to build up your following and increase your followers and customers' interaction with you on Instagram, which will hopefully lead to more product sales or traffic for your blog. I want to thank you for joining me. You can follow me on Instagram at instagram.com/Joanne Greco and let me know that you watched this Instagram success series, and I will follow you back, as long as you have a profile photo. If you're watching this video someplace other than the video page on my blog, you can sign up for the whole series at lifewithjoanne.com/Instagram success. Have a great day and see you on Instagram.